Hello everybody, this is Delta 7554 here with Ink Ribbon Quick Start Demo. Now in the last video we left this off at equipment, so we shall carry on from there. Now as this suggests, it will cover types of equipment. Like the Resident Evil games and other classic survival games this game is trying to emulate, you have limited space. There is only so much you can carry, so your inventory is broken up into slots. Each character begins with 4 slots which represent their pockets. Backpacks, hip pouches and other equipment can increase your slots up to a maximum of 12. Anything you're wearing don't take space in the inventory, which is understandable. So each item lists its size, which determines how many slots it occupies. Some are bigger, some are smaller. For example, one slot is small items such as a knife, handgun or first aid spray. 2 slots is bigger items like a baseball bat, shotgun or bolt cutters. 3 slots is something particularly bulky, while 4+ slots is very large items, such as a rocket launcher. I wonder if that will become a handy endgame item there. Some items like ammo and crafting supplies are small enough they can be stacked. So similar to how the inventory system in Resident Evil works, you can stack ammo and it has a maximum stack size in parentheses. For example, handgun ammo is listed as 50 in a stack. If a stack takes up 1 inventory slot, even if it contains less than its maximum, you cannot mix different kinds. So that explains that. Quick items. In addition to your 12 inventory slots, you have 2 quick item slots. So I am just gonna fetch one of the pre-gens up. Okay, we just drag this over here. Okay, these are your quick items. You start off with 2 of them, and you have 4 regular inventory slots, like it covers here. Quick item slots can be expanded by equipping holsters. For quick items, you don't need to use an action to draw or ready the item. The item is not tracked to your inventory and frees up more slots. Regardless of its size, the item only fills 1 quick item slot. I can't see anything that suggests you could put a shotgun that's 2 slots into a quick slot. Doesn't seem to be anything that does that. So let's make this bigger. Melee and ranged weapon tables contain a non-exhaustive list of weapons and includes some of all the following information. This is again a quick start demo. There'll probably be more weapons in the core rulebook. So you'll have name of the weapon, its range, damage, shots, size, and tags. Melee weapons are used in close combat. You use your strength. There's unarmed, which is basically fists. Improvised, which some of it isn't supposed to be, like a table, leg, or lamp. Most items have the brittle tag, but can have other tags. For example, a glass bottle might have the throw tag. One-handed weapons are like kitchen knives, hatchets, hammers, whereas a two-handed weapon is a fire axe or sledgehammer, stuff like that. So here we have some of the weapons. We've got the unarmed, the chainsaw. Again, these 3 are GM's choice. And then for ranged weapons, you got crossbow, you got a flamethrower, grenade launcher, you got rocket launcher. You got a very cozy choice of weapons to use. So it covers here with ranged weapons. Attacking an adjacent target with a ranged weapon imposes complication, unless this weapon has the up close tag. That is if you're fighting face to face. If you're next to a target, you're trying to shoot with a ranged weapon, it could cause a problem. Range, if you're attacking the target beyond your weapon's range, you add one complication. Each weapon list is shots, so we've got a crossbow does 1, handgun does 12, magnum 6, a rifle does 5, and so forth. When your gun runs out of shots and you have no more ammo for that gun in your inventory, you gain 1 stress. Very nice. Grenades and explosives, we covered that in the range table. You got a grenade, you got a pipe bomb, you got a Molotov cocktail, you got a smoke bomb. These are single use, they explode after you throw them. Throwing an explosive does not count running out of ammo, so you don't gain stress after using one. And we covered attacking with a grenade in the previous video. Armor. You can increase your chances of survival by wearing armor. The armor table below lists the 3 types of armor we can wear. The GM has final say. Wearing armor doesn't take up inventory slots, but carrying it does. And the armor's range reduces the amount of damage you take. So, for example, if you're hit with a 2-handed weapon which is 3 damage, and you are wearing light armor, you suffer 2 damage instead, which is understandable. So, you got examples here. Heavy armor you use strength 4 or armor training. So that's what you have for armor. Now we got the weapon tags. Weapon tags are special properties that can have a positive or negative. A collection is included below, and again the GM can add more as they see fit. So we got all the tags here. So for example, let's look at Magnum and let's see what the up close is. You can use a gun with an up close tag when fighting in close quarters. When using an up close weapon, you don't suffer a complication when attacking an adjacent enemy. Then you have stuff such as explosive, thrown, full auto, heavy, inferior, loud, spray, brittle, blaze. It basically goes through what's special about each weapon. Right. Survival gear, we have adrenaline shot, alcohol, ammo, backpacks, bolt cutters, campaign lantern, crafting kit, expanded mag, explosives, first aid spray. Now where have we heard that before? Flashlight, gunpowder. First aid spray clears 2 spaces on the ECG health tracker and restores all your toughness. Using a first aid spray on yourself or someone else takes an action. And we have more right here. We have health pack. So, for example, Kennedy's patching herself up with a health pack. She has 3 fill slots on her ECG, so the TN of the test is 4. Trying to bandage her own wounds is tricky, so she has 1 complication. Kennedy has wits 2, medicine 1, but only rolls 2d6s due to the complication. She gets a 1 and a 5 and successfully patches herself up, clearing all the spaces on the health tracker. So that's how a health pack works. Hip pouches, again, they expand your inventory slots. A holster lets you draw your weapons quickly, and like we covered before, we can increase that to a maximum of 4 with holsters. And here we have our correction. Like I said before, quick slots. I wondered if you could stick a 2-slot shotgun into there. Obviously not. Long gun holsters can hold weapons to take 2 or 3 slots. You can have 2 of the same holsters or 2 different holsters and can hold melee weapons and other items. From the looks of it, long gun holsters don't take up 2 quick item slots, so a long gun holster would only take up 1 of these squares. That's what I'm getting at from these rules. Lockpicks. Now, medicinal plants. Sparrow's Rest is famed for the rare plants and herbs that grow in the locality. A particular family of flowers, known as Airmed's Blossom, has potent medical qualities. And this is the reason Helix Pharmaceuticals established its lab in the region. So they have different properties. Green is most common, red's rarer, yellow is the rarest of all. And the mixing of these works the same as Resident Evil. So you got healing herb lesser, the healing herb basic, which requires 2 green flowers, and improved, which is free, while the advanced requires a green and a red, which means you clear 3 spaces on the CG meter and fully restore your toughness, so it works similar to a first aid spray. Then you got bolstering herbs. Requires a green and a yellow one. Clear 1 space on the tracker and fully restore your toughness, permanently increased by 1. Bolstering herb requires a green, a red, and a yellow flower. Clear all spaces on the ECG health tracker and restore toughness. Permanently increase your toughness by 2. You have pestle and mortar, which allows you to mix and prepare medicinal plants. You have quick loaders, which can be preloaded with ammo, letting you reload as a free action. You can only use them once per action scene. And then you got resources used for crafting, a broad term for the various useful items you find, including scrap, canisters, strips of cloth, tape, and so on. Then we've got a riot shield, which provides added protection against harm. You gain +1 defense. +1 defense and add 2 dice to your pool for agility. Scope. Attaching the scope to your gun increases the range by 1, i.e. short to medium or medium to long. You can't increase the range band beyond long. However, instead you gain an advantage when attacking with a long gun while using a scope. Some scopes have infrared capacities, which allow you to see heat signatures and remove the complications caused by smoke or darkness. Sedatives help to calm your nerves. You can use a sedative as a free action to reduce your stress by 1d3. Anytime you will gain stress in the next hour, roll 1d6. If the result is less than or equal to your heart, you don't gain stress. So that's a useful item there. And we got a silencer. Removes the loud trait from a gun. You need to find the right one for the right gun. You can also craft a makeshift one. However, a makeshift one is only good for a single shot, then it breaks. Stocks Steadies your aim when using the gun, you gain an advantage on range attacks. And when not equipped to a gun, it takes 1 inventory slot and increases its size by 1 when equipped. A tactical weapon is a combination of harnesses and pouches. They expand your number of inventory slots by 4. And as we can see here, we have all the survival gear, ammo, how much items can be stacked, all items that can be stacked. If it's got a little symbol next to it, uh, here on silencer, if it's got a little star on it, doesn't fill an inventory slot when equipped on the gun. Alright, the size of ammo stack is equal to the amounts of shot worth of ammo in that stock, not in that stack, not the number of bullets. For example, a submachine gun has a maximum stack of 30. That means there are 30 shots worth of ammo in the stack. In real terms, this might be over 100 bullets, but the submachine gun uses more than 1 bullet each time it's fired. So it's easier to keep track of shots rather than individual rounds. Now we have a crafting thing. It tells you items, we've got medical plants, resources, alcohol, gunpowder, explosives. How to craft items. Having the right tools, such as a crafting kit or pestle or mortar, helps, but it isn't necessary. Crafting item takes 10 minutes. You don't need to make a test to craft items while in a safe room. If you succeed on the test, you create the amount listed. If you fail, the following happens. If you're crafting ammo, it's half the amount. If it's a healing item, it's half as effective. If it's a throwable, like an explosive pipe bomb, it deals half the damage. If you're crafting a makeshift silencer, it adds a complication when equipped to a gun. And then across here we have all the items you can craft, the tests you need, and the amount it makes. Right along here. Finding supplies is next. You'll need to find guns, ammo, and supplies if you want to survive. When you search a location, or sometimes when you kill an enemy, you might find something useful. If there's anything to be found, the GM rolls 3d6 on the finding supplies table and checks the column based on the current horror. The GM might also just decide what you find based on what makes sense, like finding a shotgun in a police cruiser. There's some entries such as useful and item and resources direct you to roll on an additional table. If you find a gun, roll an appropriate table and then roll to see how many shots are left. If you find a common or rare, this means it has an upgrade. The GM decides what this is. If an entry has a ×2, ×3 or ×4, roll once on the table and multiply that result by the amount indicated. From horror 3 onwards, if you find common ammo and don't have the appropriate gun, you find the gun as well. From horror 4 onwards, if you find rare ammo and don't have the appropriate gun, you find the gun as well. And if we look on our left here, hang on. Oh dear. My eyes are not deceiving me here, and nor are yours. We got horrors 1 to 2, horror 3. And then horror 3 and 3 again. It should be horror 4 and horror 5, I believe. So yeah, that's a slight error. But as you can see, if it's crafting supplies, a horror 1 to 2, it's just 1. However, if it's horror 5, it's all the way to number 4. And then your ammo and guns seem to take place about here because they are more valuable. There goes, you got your flowers. Useful items, crafting supplies, healing items. There goes unique and all that. So let's take a look. Okay, so you roll on the finding supplies. And I'm guessing on table 1, this one. What's all this then? Ah, now I get it. So let me just check. If you rolled a 7 and got a healing item, you would roll on the healing item table here. So unless it specifies specifically, like number 5 is red flower, if it lands on something that says healing item or one-handed weapon, you would use this one. And this next bit is the actual scenario itself, which I will not go into. I don't want to spoil it for you, but I had a quick flick through yesterday and it is very well done. So that is all we have for today. I will try to aim to get a new video out either each Wednesday or each Thursday of the week. So if you like the video, leave a like, maybe subscribe, comment in the comment section. I will reply, I do like talking. And this is Delta 7554, and I will see you in the next video. I hope you have a very lovely day.